Alright, YouTube. Looked all winter for a project or two, couldn't find anything. And yesterday, I had two delivered right to my home. These aren't mine, but I have a friend, had no clue that they had some jet skis. They didn't know that I worked on these things. And his story on these, they've been sitting up for years because he couldn't find anybody to work on them. And that's kind of, I've mentioned in a previous video, that's the way it is here. You cannot find anybody that'll work on these things. And much like many other cases, these have sat up, not running for years. And so we're going to see maybe if I can get these things running. Now I actually did, they were delivered yesterday, so I actually did do a video, a walk around and kind of looked at them, played with them a little bit, but turned out the settings on my camera phone got messed up. So anyway, scratch that, starting fresh today. I think that'll be a bonus for you because I kind of have a better starting point to take a look at these skis. But anyway, got a 98 Sea-Doo GTX Limited, and I've got a 96 GTX. Like I said, both aren't running. This one, I was told, is the one that has the issues and wasn't running, and this is one that needed work. I was told that this one was running, but maybe because it's been sitting up for so long, it's actually locked up. I did try to start it, and so the engine's locked up, but it may not be the engine, it may just be the starter. But we'll take a look at it and see. But anyway, I'll take you off the stand. We'll do a little quick walk around on these things, and we'll get started on them. Let's see what we can find out about these things. Alright, so here we go. Let's take a look at these things that showed up yesterday. In front of you here is the 96 GTX, and you know, it's not bad. It's got a lot of oxidation. It's bright out here. It's a beautiful day, a little windy, so I hope the sound turns out okay. But there's a lot of oxidation on it, if you can pick that up, but that's not a big deal. That can be just buffed out. The hood, now when it arrived, like I said, it is bright, so I don't know if you can pick it up. I thought the hood was just faded, but it's actually been painted. So you can see like the hunter green is still there underneath. It's just been painted over. Not sure why, but anyway, just a little damage there on the nose. It's missing a bumper guard, but that's about it. Last licensed in 2017. But overall, it's in pretty good shape. Now, the handlebars have kind of dry rotted out. You can see the padding is deteriorated and it's come off there. But overall, I have seen a lot worse than these, and I can't tell. I'm thinking, just by the walk around I did yesterday, that these may have been sitting outside for at least part of the time that they have not been running. And I based that on a lot of standing water inside of the hull there. So, but anyway, this is a 96. I can't read the plate there, but on the back it is a 96 model GTX. This has the 787 in it. And here's the one, as I told you, that was the issues or was having the problems. This is a 98 GTX Limited. This has the 951 engine in it. And so it came this way. But I don't have a story or know why that the pump was taken off. But we're going to try something here in just a minute. This is my I don't even know what you call this thing, but I used this to get the prop off of the shaft for my Yamaha. And we can actually put this over it, point the camera right, and we're going to see if we can turn this engine. by doing that. I don't have a key to this one. That was one thing that did not make it. This has a key, but nothing happened when I put it in. We'll go over that a little later. But here's the 98. The seats are worse condition than the 96, and the handlebars as well. Seen better days there, if you can pick that up. But overall, the decals and the ski is in good shape. We're not going to crawl under it. I already have. I mean, they're in really good shape underneath it. Just the same, just a lot of oxidation here. That's nothing that can't be buffed out. So again, licensed in 2017, and this is really in really good shape. The hood, there's not a lot of oxidation here. So really, other than the handlebars and the seats, it looks really good. So I did it, and the trailer is a really nice trailer. The only thing, this trailer sits much higher than the two trailers I have. I'm short, I'm 5'8", but to get up and around these things, I have to use a footstool. So these are a good bit higher than my two trailers. They sit much higher up. Anyway, I was given a battery to use to work on these things. Big appreciation for that. I've got a lawnmower battery that I use, but hey, that'll work great if I can point the camera right. But here's the, as you can see, there's parts here, and this is the way it was delivered, and not an answer as to you know, what was going on and why. So there's the jet pump, and here's a box full of the parts. So these are all, I'm going to assume, all pump parts, but I've got something in here. I do not know, just looking at that, what that is or what it goes to. So that'll be something I'm going to assume I'm going to be able to pick it up if something is missing with a bunch of wires being cut off. So hopefully I'll find out. But the jet pump is, let me pick it up here, get it on the ski. Just messing around with it yesterday, and so it seems to spin freely, and it's quiet. It's a little eat up, the blades, but that's, you know, pretty common, especially for 98 if this is the original. But anyway, if you can pick it up, look, the gaps are good, and the wear ring is good. So I just wonder, there's a little noise, but I don't think that is of any issue. So anyway, not sure what's going on with that one, but hopefully we'll find out. So what I'm going to do now is take a minute. I'm going to pop the seats off these things. I'm going to show you the insides of each of these. It's a different story when we get into the holes of these. So hold on, bear with me just a minute, and let me get these seats off. All right. All right. So as I said, these things are sitting up pretty tall. Been having to use that little stool to get up there, but it still sits up pretty tall. So I'm going to get up on the trailer, and I think it'd be easier if I don't fall here, and walk my way through the middle of these two, and we'll take a look at each one of them. We'll look at the 96 here first. Like I said, I messed around with it some yesterday, trying to jump this thing off and to see if I could get it to turn over, and it was locked up. So I may go ahead and show you what I did and hook this up again. Let me kind of turn you upside down. What I did, obviously, I was checking out the since nothing was happening when I put the key in up here, and you can see the start stop button is pretty looks bad shape, so it may not even be working right. I don't get the double beeps when I put the key on, So I did check real quick here yesterday if I was getting power to the relay, and of course I was, but nothing was happening. Wasn't getting power over to the other side. And so that's when I used a screwdriver and just shorted it out, and all it's doing is clicking. It's like it's trying to turn over, but it's, you know, stopping with like a click. Could be the starter. Probably not anything to do with the engine, probably the starter. Question: where's the starter on 787? So I've got an extra starter, and if this is doable, if we can find it, I may pull this thing out and see. I took the cover off. It's back here, as you can see. I took the cover off and I tried to spin it by hand, and it's not budging. So that's a no-go as well. So next step, let's see if we can find the starter. But it's pretty rough, right? I mean, really nasty all down in here. I'll give you a better look of it. It's added. I stick my GoPro down in here, and you can just see the really, it just kind of doesn't it just kind of want to make you pull the engine out and just clean this whole thing out, including the engine. I mean, it's really tempting to do that on this ski, and really both of them. All right, let me spin you around here and let's take a look at the 98 Limited here. I've got a lot of parts that I just kind of dropped over in here, since a lot of them came outside of the ski. All right, so it's missing a relay. I borrowed the relay off of this one to put it in the ski behind me to see if maybe it was just the relay that was out and not working, but it wasn't. But anyway, both are pretty filthy on the inside of the hulls here. And as I said, this one was the one that originally stopped running, but wasn't told, and they didn't know if it was engine related, or since the pump has been removed, if it was pump related. But there are missing parts that I have found. There's missing bolts, there's missing parts. And one thing I did notice right away, again, I have you upside down, the air box is off of the carburetors. So that's kind of a concern if this was actually sitting outside for any length of period without carburetors being covered. So we're going to look into this one. Like I said, we're going to take a minute here and just see if I can spin the engine over by hand from the rear of it, and it will go from there. I may show you what I did yesterday as far as that goes. Let you hear the clicking that I'm getting, and maybe you have an idea of what that is. Heard that before, but I'm thinking it's just the starter that's frozen and was not able to turn that. Either that or the pistons. And I did take the spark plugs out and put some oil down into the cylinders and let it soak a little bit. And so, you know, it could be the piston rings frozen up in there. I don't know. But anyway, all right, well, I'll stop here for a second, and I'm just really curious to see if we can get this to at least turn over. Manual from the back. So let me stop here, get down here to the back, and let's see what we can see if we can get any movement on this engine here. All right. All right, so you're going to see this along with me. I have not messed with this thing off camera, so if this thing spins, it'll be the first time I'm seeing it, and if it doesn't, it's also going to be the first time. I don't remember what this is, but anyway, I got it and used it to get the prop off of the shaft on my Yamaha, and so it fits right over the splines here. And we're going to see if we get any movement. All right. So no, the engine is not locked up on this thing, as it is spinning around. Now, obviously I had a little spot there, but spark plugs are still in it, so that's a good sign. Is the compression on this thing. Should I hook my impact wrench up to this thing? I'm gonna try it out. Let's just see if I can get this off. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. Well, we know we don't have a locked up engine. Let's just see if I can spin it by hand. Probably won't be able to with the spark plugs in it. I am able to turn it, but it is tough right there. So like I said, I believe that's just because of the spark plugs are in it. All right, to me that's good news for my amateur knowledge of these things. So so maybe it is the jet pump that is actually the issue. But again, it spun freely. There's no noise in this thing, and so, well, we may have to I haven't hooked the battery to this one yet and haven't messed with it because I was told this one is the one that does not run. So we'll do that. Let me take a minute and get my battery, and let's just see if we can plug into this thing and get this thing to turn over. Alright, so before I hook my battery up to this, I wanted just to bring y'all in, if you're watching this and you have experience with these 951 engines. Now you may be thinking, you know, don't you have a XP Limited with a 951? And I do, but that engine came already out of the ski, so you know, none of these pipes, nothing was, you know, hooked up. So first thing, the clamp here is this. There is a gap, and I'm hoping you can see that well. Is this, it looks loose to me, so it doesn't look like it's really holding them together, but just asking if there's some more experienced eyes as far as this pipe and this connection down here. And what I'm going to do is also, since I can't see into the carbs, I'm going to lower you down in here, and I'm going to use the GoPro here to see if we can see anything down in the carburetors. And I can't tell if I've even gotten you in front of it. I'm kind of reaching around here blind a little bit, hoping you can see and that there's enough light to maybe see into the carburetors and see if they're what they look like from that view. I'll take a look at this later. And the more I look at this, also obviously we're missing the battery box here. So again, let me know if this has been broken out or does it screw in. You know, if we get this thing running, we need to replace that to sit the battery in, but it is missing. And I was hoping maybe back in the back it slid. You know, the air box could be up front, just again sliding you down in here to see if maybe the carbs airbox is maybe down in the ski someplace. And like I said, I did even check the compartment up front. Let's see. No, there's no utility tray up here. And ooh, look at that wasp nest right there. I don't and I'm just going to lower you down in here, and I'll look at the video later. And just trying to get an idea of what I'll be working with on here. Again, really nasty. It almost looks like it's been sitting outside for years and not sitting inside. So, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my little lawn tractor battery out here. Almost fell. And we're gonna hook it up to the battery, and we're just gonna see if this thing will turn over. I went ahead, took the spark plugs off. And even though I'd already turned it over by hand, I put some 2-stroke oil down in here and have letting it sit for a little bit, and we'll go from there. And let's just see what this thing will do. All right, let me get the battery and hooked up, and I'll bring you back. All right, so I wish there was a way to sit you down, and I may try it here. Let's see. I don't know if this will work. Probably not, because if this thing does turn over, it's just going to take you right off of it. So hopefully that is picking up. Let's just see if anything happens. I can't really see well. You know, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Huh. Well, I'm a little disappointed, and let me explain that. I kind of was hoping I would have gotten this from that ski, since it is a complete ski, intact from head to toe, and this one is missing the pump and bolts, and you know, I'm just not really sure what else is missing out of this thing. As I get started on it, I have one other part that I need to ask you guys what it is, if you could tell me. What I'm doing is I'm trying to just put the spark plugs back in, and I'm not left-handed, so that is an issue here, so it's not going to work. I'm going to put the plugs back in, and there we go. That's all I needed. So on one hand, I am really encouraged, because this one was the one I was told was not running. It was actually broken and needed work, and it was the green one over here that was the one that actually they believed would run. So I'm just I'm biding my time here. I'm just tightening down the spark plugs, and And so I'm going to hit it again. Spark plugs in, and it sounded good. The compression. That may just be the battery, but it's kind of struggling there to turn over with the spark plugs in it. And so let's see, one more time here before we catch this thing on fire. All right, well, encouraged, discouraged a little bit, because this one obviously. Okay, the sound cut off just as I was stepping down on the other side, but what I was saying, encouraged and discouraged in the sense that the engine, I get it to at least turn over and it sounds good, is the ski that is missing the jet pump, missing bolts, missing parts. So, you know, I won't know what's missing until I actually start trying to put everything back together. This one is intact, but what I did, I'm going to do before I close out the video is I hooked the battery up here and see if it's got any juice left. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, and hopefully you can hear the clicking. I'm hoping, I believe it's really, like I said before, just the starter. So let me see if I can lower you in here enough to hear it. Let me shorten my, there we go. So you can hear that, hopefully. So, again, my hope is it's just a starter. I'm going to find out exactly where the starter is on this thing and see if we can get it off, swap it out, and actually see if we can get this one running. So, all right, I'm going to just wrap things up here in just a minute. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up there today, and as always, I appreciate you joining me. There was one thing I mentioned a little earlier. I was going to ask you guys about a part, and you know what this is. It goes to this 98 over here. But so I'm going to be looking for some YouTube videos on the starter for this one and the pump on this one, and see if we can get some kind of plan going. But again, you know, this is fun. These skis are out there. If you look around, you can find them, and this is something I enjoy doing. I look forward to the challenge to try to get these things to run again, and you know, just see where it goes from here. So again, thanks for joining me, and we'll keep you up to date on these skis. All right, see you.